What's going on, you guys? This is going to be my 1 year update on the 120 gallon reef. I guess I have a couple things to talk about with you guys. It's been a while since I did an update, about 4 months ago. There's been a lot of coral growth, a lot, and I'm definitely going to talk about that. I'm pretty much doing the same thing I've been doing. I got Kalkwelser and my auto top off, and other than that, I wasn't dosing anything until 1 week ago. I was using the largest amount of Kalkwelser I can actually use with a 5 gallon bucket, so I maxed that out. So and my alkalinity levels were still dropping, so I had to start dosing 2-part, and I dosed 2-part by Seacom's 2-part. A and B or whatever. I've been using that now, so and I manually dose that. I don't use no auto dosers no more. I don't use any technology. Every day I wake up, I put 10 milliliters of alk in, wait a couple minutes, and I put 10 milliliters of calcium in, and the corals are thriving, guys. All these corals are encrusted. They encrusted on the frag plugs about a couple months ago. Now, like, they're encrusted all over the rock. A couple changes I want to make. I want to move this bubblegum digi to the top of the rock over there, because it was just a little nub when I got that thing, and I only had it since maybe September, I think. So about 4 months almost I had that, and it already grew. It's already pretty big. I mean, that thing's gonna be a huge colony. Give it 6 months and it's gonna be huge, because I mean, it didn't take long for it to grow like that. And that's actually my favorite piece in there, so I'm glad it grows pretty quick. I'm definitely going to take this phone off the pod and zoom in on some of these corals to show you the encrusting and how big they did get. If you look at my other videos, you can see how fast these corals grew within just a couple months. I mean, things just are taking off. The tank is super stable. I never really put my hands in the water. The other day, I did a complete makeover on the tank. I scraped all the purple coralline off the back of the glass, and I scraped some of it off the front of the glass, what I could get. Like, there's certain areas, like the corners of the tank, where I can't get, it's like down here, I can't get it without knocking rock over and knocking corals off, so I just let that go. But I think the tank looks so much healthier and better without the purple coralline on there, because half of it dies when I do a water change, and the water goes down to there, it all turns white whenever there's no water. So I think it's ugly. I don't really like the purple coralline look. I think, like, when you got that black on the back of the tank, it really makes the corals pop. I wish I could do a video with just the blues on. Like, the tank looks ridiculous with just the blues on. It looks crazy in here, and you can really see all the different colors in the corals. What else did I have to add to that? So, started out in 2 parts. And like I said, this is my 1 year update, about a month late. This tank's been running for about 13 months now. And I say so far, a very successful tank. I mean, everything's doing good, and the only thing I really have on here that's automated is I have I have Apex Junior. I have my lights connected to that. They control the lights. And I have the Apex Junior also controls the heater, and that's it. That's it. No automation, nothing crazy. I mean, and this tank is easy. I do 1 water change a month. I do 20 gallons a month, right? That I add trace elements back into it. I have an algae scrubber running. I have no protein skimmer. And I mean, corals, I have all types of acres in here. Encrusting, super colorful. I don't really add reefroids or anything like that to my tank. I just feed the fish every day. And I may, once a month, I may put some reefroids in here. Because what happened when I was using reefroids, I might have been just doing a little much, is I got dinos, and it took me a while to beat those dinos. But how I beat them was just I upped the nutrients. I dialed the algae scrubber back to just 12 hours on, 12 hours off. I did have it on all day, and it was just killing the nutrients. Everything was 0. Nitrate 0, phosphate 0. And another thing I wanted to talk about. I do not test phosphates. I haven't tested phosphates since September, and since I stopped testing them, my tank's been doing really good. I don't the whole phosphate hand checker and all that. I mean, they're just not accurate enough, I guess. They're like, you know, I mean, they're accurate, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like you just don't need to test phosphates. Like you start to know your tank. I shouldn't say don't test your phosphates, especially if there's new people watching. You should, because I did test them for like a year straight. You know, on and off. But the only perimeter I test, and I test faithfully, weekly, is alkalinity. So, and obviously it's working. Like I said, I have that algae scrubber. I have it on 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And pretty much I could tell that, if my glass goes the whole week without being dirty, I know my phosphates are low. So every day, you know, I look at the glass, I'll come up here and look. If I got a little bit of stuff, I could tell whenever it's getting dirty that I have phosphates in the tank. You know, every couple of days I look at it and it needs wiped down. Now, if I go a whole week without wiping it down, I know my phosphates are low. So that's how I test my phosphates. It's just an eye test for me. I don't believe in using the phosphate checkers, and I have like the best checkers for everything. I have a hand checker for calcium, alkalinity, phosphates, nitrate. I have all time. I don't test nitrates. I don't test any of that stuff. pH, nothing. I had a pH monitor by American Pinpoint. It was junk. It wasn't accurate, so it was very pointless to have. Like I said, I dose Kalkweiser, and I'm pretty sure that keeps the pH stable. And I just look at the corals. If the corals look good, you know, I know everything's going good. One thing that I do need to do and focus on is I need to start buying some backup equipment, because my pump that I'm using on this tank, I've been using that for a couple years now. I only cleaned it once. So before a disaster happens, I do need to buy me a backup pump. I did just buy a backup pump for my auto top off. The Smart ATO pump, bought that from BRS. The water is always crystal clear. I mean, this water is crystal clear. I love it. What else did I want to add? Alright, we'll zoom in on these corals, guys. So here we go, man. There goes that bubblegum digi. If you look at my last video, man, this thing was small. Super small. Right behind it is the Voodoo's Magic. That thing encrusted on the frag plug, and it's starting to encrust. On the rock. There goes that green slimer that I got from Fisher Hex. That was just a little nub. That thing's growing. It's fully encrusted on the rock also. Here goes the strawberry shortcake. It did not color up yet, but it's encrusting on the rock. It encrusted on the frag plug. None of these were encrusted at all whenever I got them. There's that big purple stylo. That thing got huge. That's a given though. Those things just grow like weeds, I guess. This is a USA Fruitopia, encrusting along the rock. Polyps are always out. That's one thing I wanted to mention. The polyps are always out on this bubblegum digi. The last couple days they haven't been. I'm not sure if it's because I took some of the power heads out. It might be because of the flow adjustment that I'd made, or it's just growing. I don't know. Maybe it grows when the polyps go out for a couple days, because it does that every once in a while. Back there is a no-name acro that's encrusted. This is a red planet that's encrusted all over the rock. Doing good. Right beside it is a vivid rainbow delight encrusting on the rock. These are all my torches. This toadstool just literally took the tank over. I mean, this thing's huge. It's always out, but now that I want to do a video, it's not. And you see those holes, and those are heads splitting. It's making more babies, more heads, or whatever you want to say. Yep, when they split like that and get holes in them, I thought my coral was dying, like a year ago when I seen it have a hole in it, but no, it's growing. When they get holes in there, that means their heads, they're splitting. I learned that. So I got this thing. It had about 4 heads. If you watch my videos when I first got it, like a couple years ago, this is one of the first corals I got. It had about 4 heads. It's about 13 heads on this thing. This thing wraps all the way around the tank. All the way. See? Comes all the way on the other side there. This is a torch coral that I tried to save for a friend. He was breaking his tank down. I just got this yesterday. It doesn't look like it's gonna live. No, all the polyps are coming off of that. That was a Malaysian torch. I think his heater died, he said. And the water was really cold when I got it. I tried to save it, but it doesn't look like it's gonna be saved. We'll give it a couple more days, but I'll probably pull that out before like the polyps start blowing around everywhere. This is just a pink bird's nest. I'm gonna be switching spots with that. I'm gonna move this bubblegum digi to the top of this rock here, because the bubblegum digi is not actually encrusted on the rock yet. It's encrusted all over the frag plug and going down, but it hasn't actually encrusted on the rock, which is a good thing because I don't want that bubblegum digi to get stung by this red Gonopora. And I mean, it's getting close. It's getting pretty close. That's the Montipora spungodes. It gets irritated by the red Gonopora, as you can tell, the rainbow Gonopora. I don't know if you can see the orange and purple inside there and the purple tips on there, but yeah, that's actually a rainbow Goni. I always say red, but it's actually a rainbow Gonopora. There's a green one right underneath it. This I'm not sure what coral this is. I also got that from Fisher Hex, but that thing encrusted and it's growing well. Really nice piece. There's my fox coral. The top of here, that's a pink lemonade right here. That thing's growing and encrusting, as you can see. These are some Green Bay Packers zoas, some Rastas, a little bit of red slime, just a little bit. And that's what happens when you try to put reefroids and stuff in here. That's why I don't really like reefroids and stuff. Like I always get like some red slime or I don't know. But this tank's very mature. Like I said, it's pretty mature. You know, it's 13 months old. I feel like the more it matures, the more I'll start trying to like test, like putting stuff in here. Oh, I'm sorry, I lied, guys. I dose Acro Power once a week. I don't know if it does anything, but I'm gonna have to go back and look to see like when I started dosing Acro Power to see if that's why the corals started encrusting or whatever. I don't know though. I don't really think. We'll see though. This is a blue tip stag right here. It's encrusting, starting to encrust. Some scrambled egg zoas, a bunch of other zoas on the rock back there. Just a forest fire digi that needs re-glued down because the flow's blowing that thing around. As you can see, this GSP's starting to take over the glass. I got that and it was the size of a fingernail. That thing's taken over. Had it for well over a year. It's a slow grower, GSP. It's pretty slow growing. But I love the color on it. Oh, here we go on the back of the glass. That's a Tyree pink lemonade. Let me get that side shot of that bad boy. Yeah. That's a Tyree pink lemonade. Polyps are always out. That thing's encrusted all over the rock. I mean all over the frag plug and going down the frag plug. Pretty soon it'll be on the overflow. Oh, I forgot about that. That's a Christmas Montipora or something like that. I don't even know. I want $100 Christmas Montipora. I want to say I want a $100 gift card from Alex's Reef Tank for reaching like 500 subscribers or something like that. And he gave me a $100 gift card for Top Shelf Aquatics. I got that Montipora right there. It's not even, you can't even see the colors on it. I also got, you see that zoa right there? Some type of zoa. It's a pretty zoa. I don't know the name of it. And Top Shelf Aquatics corals are pretty expensive, so, and they're really small. I'm not a fan of Top Shelf's Aquatics corals at all. They give you like little nubs and overcharge crazy for their corals. I got another one. Like I said, he gave me a $100 gift card, which was awesome of him for reaching subscribers. Go check out Alex's Reef Tank channel. Some Duncan coral down there. Lobo, nice and fat. There goes my my Blue Maximus clam. And guys, that's about it for today's update. And I'll check back in with you guys in about 3-4 months from now, guys. You have a good one.